Guys, today we're seeing some massive developments for Bitcoin and traditional markets. Is this massive Bitcoin and crypto whale holding more than $25 billion worth of crypto? Is he going to drag down the entire crypto space on Friday? We do have some key developments regarding this Friday, guys. So stick around for that. We're also going to talk about Michael Burry. So he was the one that predicted the financial crisis of 2008, and he is now predicting, and he's actually putting his money where his mouth is, that we're gonna see a massive crash in the markets. Today I'm going to talk about this as well. We have a lot of things to talk about, guys. Make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. And let's quickly begin talking about the markets here, because after going sideways for forever, we ultimately did have a little bit of a drop yesterday. We went down to just over $29,000. And right now we are sitting at about 29,143. Now, just for reference, Bitcoin has been hovering between basically 29,300 and 29,400 since almost a week right now. So yeah, we're seeing some more volatility here. So yeah, at least that's something. Maybe that can point us towards wherever Bitcoin is going to go. But for now, I mean, we're still way above the massive support level. It's actually down at $28,500. So right now things are not wild enough to establish a new trend for Bitcoin. So I'm just watching this, and also on the longer term time frames, not much has happened really. We're still right above the support level here of this wedge. So these charts are not telling us too much right now. Traditional markets, the S&P 500 is still in this little bit of a downtrend. So we're approaching potentially the support level at 4,418. So let's see if we can reach that. But this trend line, yes, it's trending down, but we've had a bounce every time we go down to this level. So that is definitely something to pay attention to. For the NASDAQ, I want to introduce the NASDAQ here also, because on the weekly time frame for NASDAQ, you can see that we are below. We came 5% of break-in our previous all-time high on NASDAQ. All-time high on NASDAQ, guys. That's absolutely insane. And you can see that right now we are about 10% from the previous all-time high on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, of course, tech stocks, which is more correlated with Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, markets are not looking too bad right now. This is why we're going to talk about the big short here from Michael Burry, who predicted the 2008 financial crisis. How much should we actually pay attention to this? But just one minor thing first. You can see that Tether has actually transferred they have minted $150 million almost from redeeming Tether here. And the interesting thing with this is that just a few minutes before, you saw $150 million worth of Bitcoin being transferred to Coinbase. So was this actually Tether themselves, or maybe the Tether sent $150 million worth of Bitcoin to someone over on Coinbase, and they sold that for Tether and or for USD, and those USDs are used here for whoever redeemed $150 million. So that is actually pretty interesting. You can see the timeline here, very close, of course. But one of the major things right now is that the decision on the Grayscale lawsuit is likely to come out on Friday. Now, this was actually supposed to come out already on the 15th, but it has been delayed. And what is this all about? Well, Grayscale, they want to convert their trust to an ETF. Now, just for reference, Grayscale holds $18 billion, over $18 billion worth of Bitcoin, over $5 billion worth of Ethereum. They have Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and so on. So they are one of the largest, if not the largest, whale in the crypto space right now. So they're holding some insane amounts of money. This is why the outcome of this lawsuit with the SEC is going to have, no matter how you twist and turn it, it's going to have a massive effect on the crypto space. Now, here's the thing. We're expected to see the SEC come out with an outcome on Friday. As we already discussed, it has been delayed. And the senior analysts over on Bloomberg predicts that it's a 70% chance of the Grayscale Trust winning that lawsuit. So if that they manage to get that converted to an ETF, then most likely it is going to pave the way for these other applications to also be approved. So that is something that is very, very interesting, and this is something we have to pay attention to on Friday. And throughout this week, like tomorrow, today, you're going to have some other key economical data being released as well. So this is going to be a massive thing to pay attention to. Do you think that they will get that SEC approval from Grayscale, or do you think that they are going to deny it or delay it further? Can they even delay it? Well, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust here, yeah, they can delay. The next deadline is actually on, well, it's the final deadline. The final deadline is in October. So we could still see some delays here, but nonetheless, we will see on Friday if they will release that and what they are going to say. But it is interesting that it is actually delayed. It was supposed to come out before the 15th of August. Now, let's talk about the massive short that Michael Burry has been making. Now, Michael Burry, maybe you saw the Big Short movie where he predicted the 2008 financial crisis. Well, he has now put a $1.6 billion bet on a market crash. Well, this is not entirely true, and I will get into that here in a bit. But first, I just want to go through some of the predictions he has been making. So in 2005, he predicted the collapse of the subprime mortgage market, and then the housing market crashed in 2008, which led to the global financial crisis. So yes, he was correct in this, but also pay attention to this. He was correct, but he predicted it several years off. So he predicted it in 2005 and it happened in 2008. So let's look at what has been happening since. Well, in 2015, he predicted that the stock market would crash within the next few months. Instead, the stock market went up by 11%. He predicted a crash in 2017. Instead, the market went up by 20%. He predicted a crash in 2019. Instead, the stock market went up by 15%. He predicted a crash in 2020. The stock market went up 72%. In 2021, he predicted a stock market crash and he shorted Tesla. The S&P 500 went up 16%. September 2022, he predicted that the stock market would also fail and that the bottom was not hit. And during that time, the S&P 500 went up 21%. And in January of 2023, he predicted a recession and a new round of inflation. And the stock market has been going up by 17% since then. In August of 2023, right now, he has now revealed a short position on the NASDAQ and on the SPY. So you can see how this has all been playing out here. But the bottom line is that yes, he was correct in 2005, although with a few years off. But since then, he has mostly been wrong, to be honest. So what should we make of this $1.6 billion crash bet he has been making? Well, to begin with, it's not actually $1.6 billion because he's doing this with options. And how options works is that he has the option. He has basically bought the option to sell the SPY and the QQQ, traditional markets, at a certain price at a certain point. Now, what the certain price point and what the certain time point is, we do not know. But the market value is almost $1.6 billion. But that is pretty much like, it's not a good representative of how much money he has actually been betting. Because if you look at how option works, and I've been talking about options previously, but if we just go over here to Deribit and let's see if we can bring out the options here, and we can pick a strike price. And the strike price, like the strike price and the date matters a lot in terms of how much money has actually been betting. Because if you go here to, let's say, a strike price on the 25th of August, which is in 10 days. And by the way, this is old. This happened, I think, 2 months ago. He made this bet. So already it's been 60 days since he made this bet. Now, I digress. Let's continue. So these are the options to sell. This is basically what he has been buying. He's been buying the option to sell. And then you have a strike price. For Bitcoin, you can pick like 21, 22, whatever it is. For whichever assets he has been shorting or buying puts on, it would be different. But nonetheless, let me just show you how this actually works for options. So let's say he wants to sell Bitcoin at $21,000. Now, this is how it would be calculated. If I bring out the calculator here, this is actually how it would work. So let's say he buys $1 million worth of puts here. Now, he buys it at, what did we say, $21,000. That means that he can buy, if we divide that $1 million that he is betting by the price in which you buy that put. And of course, the price is going to be higher the higher we go, because remember, he's buying the option to sell. So if you sell at a particular date, and this particular date is 25th of August, of course, if you do it at $30,000 and the Bitcoin price is at $25,000, then you make basically, well, from $30,000 to 25, you make $5,000 for each put. Now, if you do it at $20,000, of course, it's less likely that Bitcoin is going to be at $20,000 or below. So for him to make $5,000, Bitcoin would need to go down to $15,000. That is why the prices to buy the puts here on with a lower strike price is much lower. Anyway, let me show you the math here. So let's say he buys $1 million worth of puts. The price of a put at $20,000 is let's call it $6. That means that he can buy 166,666 puts. And then you have the notional value. So again, $20,000, you take that times $20,000 and you end up with $3 billion. So does that mean that he spent $3 billion? No, it doesn't. He spent $1 million to buy those puts. The notional value would be $3.3 billion basically. And this is what they are reporting here. They're reporting the market value in which he would, basically the market value of the assets he was buying the puts for. So we don't know the strike price, like we don't know this column for him, and we don't know the time aspect of it. Could it be 25th? As you can see, the prices are gonna change. The further we go, the higher the prices are gonna be, because it gives you more time to actually, it gives you more room for time to make the Bitcoin price be pushed down, and then you making more money. So do not be scared of this $1.6 billion put that he's been making. Even if he was putting $1.6 billion, still we know that over time he has been wrong more than he has been correct. Guys, let me know if you want me to do an in-depth tutorial on how options works, because it's actually pretty interesting and you can trade in a very, very different way using options. If you want to know more about that, let me know down in the comment section. Maybe I will do a little bit of a free course for you. But nonetheless, that is what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.